time for episode 14 of the game. Anyways, hello everybody, it's Deanspillabean back on your screen, as I said, back on the 20x20 Satisfactory world, and well, nuclear power is operational now. I can actually run my facility as much as I want. So, goal for today is to try and get turbo motors unlocked and actually automated. But in order to even start doing that, I need to get access to fused modular frames. In order to get that, I'll need some heavy frames, aluminum casing, and nitrogen gas. Luckily, I made a heavy frame manufacturing thing like a dozen episodes ago or something like that. And it's making about 6 frames a minute. And wait, oh, I forgot. I forgot those frames were being used for the ACUs. Okay, I thought I had frames on standby. No, I don't. I need to figure something out. And by figure something out, I actually mean utilize all of this steel production that I've got up here. Made from a ton of extra petroleum coke and iron that I got just lying around, and now I have like 3,000 steel ingots a minute just on standby. But is it really on standby? Because I have to like have all of this running first in order to get all... for the moment, I gotta do something with all of this, so I guess we'll use that for the heavy frames. And as for aluminum casing, I do have some aluminum up here already making casings, but those are specifically for batteries, and I'm a bit iffy on actually using those, but I could probably get away with using some of this extra bauxite. Or not, it seems to always be kind of running out. Actually, I don't think I'll even touch the batteries, so I'm gonna have to get some bauxite from somewhere else, bring it up to an area, make some casing so that I can... Well, today's just gonna be a day, isn't it? Fused modular frames. They need nitrogen gas. I have no nitrogen gas. I'm going to get that first. And according to my map, there is some nitrogen just kind of way off in the corner here. Well, let's just go over there, see what we can do. Gotta see, I'm very much a fan of the change zip lines in Update A. It just makes traveling a lot nicer. Okay, so the nitrogen gas is actually a bit over this way. How much quartz? There's a lot of quartz in storage here. Am I not utilizing enough, or... it doesn't matter at the moment. Where is that nitrogen? Because supposedly it is around this area. Oh, yep, just a bit further ahead. Ah, here it is. Alright, so in order to get this to work, we're going to need an extractor. Get a bunch of these satellite nodes up and running. How much nitrogen do I really want? Do I want 1,800? I don't think I'll ever use that much, but it's nice that I'll have that on standby. And now we're a more serious problem of actually getting all that over there. I think in this case, probably easiest thing to do is just to make a train station and have it set for liquids. And I think for now, just 3 fluid platforms should be enough. Now I just gotta go through and make sure all of this is hooked up right. Luckily, gas is a little forgiving, I guess, when it comes to actually using it. Because in Satisfactory, gas is not a liquid, and is therefore, by association, not affected by gravity. Okay, got a roundabout set up. I just gotta get it connected to the base. Every single time I look over at my base and just admire how large it's become. Thinking at this point it's been like almost a year, very close to that, since I like actually started this whole series, so it just feels nice getting this far. And eventually we'll end up at the top of my grid, where we'll just have to make sure we got space for a station. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if I just set these on, turn on self-driving, the train should be on its way. No, because I forgot a very important part. When I hooked up the train, I forgot to give it a train behind it so that it can go forward. Because these things apparently can't auto-drive backwards, I don't know why. And if I just put one here, Okay, do you want to now? Yes, it does want to. Wonderful. Alright, so with nitrogen transport online, I should be able to get... Actually, I don't know how much nitrogen I'm actually getting from this. I mean, I've also got like 2 trains coming in, and those are bringing nitrogen in really quickly. I don't know how much I'm actually bringing in until I like train this. Okay, thinking about this a bit, going back to my old radio factory thing, I do have aluminum casing actually going into here, and all this aluminum casing is actually coming from my aluminum floor way downstairs. And honestly, when I'm not making radios, I could just use those for the fuse frames, or kind of swap between using one or the other. I don't need all of it at the same time, I believe. So I got nitrogen and aluminum casing accounted for, or at least for now, so I can make the fuse frames. I now need the heavy frames, which I do have some heavy frame production like extremely far down there at the bottom, but I'm thinking on instead alternatively using all of the extra steel that I got being made from all of the extra petrol coke that's just being made from all of these refineries here. So I think I'll use those and have a different production line for some heavy frames that I could probably actually put in this crevice. I feel like I could put something here. Yeah, I can do that. So, fuse frames require at least 1.5 frame a minute in order to make stuff. I want about 10 frames, so divide that by 1.5 and I get 7. It definitely equals 7. So that's going to be 7 blenders for fused frame. So 7 times 1.5 is 10.5. 10.5 what? Heavy modular frames, if I can say. I am not good at English, good grief. So I got 2 options. I can either use a recipe with screws or a recipe without screws. Actually, I'll use the recipe without screws because there's actually a higher manufacture rate than that. Ew, but all the numbers are weird. 2.8125. What are these numbers? 10.5 divided by 2.8125, and yes, I remembered that. 3.75. So I'll just say 4 of these different types of heavy frames. Okay, I can make steel pipes and mod frames with the steel ingots. Mod frames can be made from screws and refined plates. That's the best recipe, so I'll probably go for that. How do I get reinforced plates? I use iron plates and screws. And how do I get you? Combine steel with plastic, or iron ingots with plastic. Iron ingots with plastic is better. Do I want to go for the trouble of getting iron all the way to the top? Actually, it wouldn't be too big of a deal, because I could also get concrete up here at the same time. That could work. And I know I got a bunch of excess plastic here, because normally it's for circuit board stuff, but when that's not being used, that could be used to the reinforced plates for that. That could work. We'll go with that, actually. So, just getting something set up, and I get the mod frame assemblers running. So that's 6 mod frame assemblers, waiting for reinforced plates and some screws. Now I just gotta give it what it wants. Anyways, find myself iron node, get some miner and control there, and make sure that it's set for iron port 1 base, enter, and it should be ready to go. Back at base, and iron's coming in. Sweet. Looking into it, I just need about 5 different smelters. So I don't need to go too crazy with this. Probably reroute this to somewhere else and use the iron for other purposes. But for now, what I got here should be fine. Okay, iron ingots combined with plastic. Get myself iron plates. Next is assemblers for reinforced plates. Now I just gotta get some screws. Yeah, this should be fun. Alright, so iron plates are done. I just need to get screws up and running. So I need about 13 or so constructors. Which, doom, I got 12 constructors right here. Power of blueprints. Okay, so I need about 740. There should just be 1 Mark V belt, and all of these produce 100 each. 4, 5, 6, 7... send that over. Say screws are a nightmare for reasons. I wholeheartedly believe them every step of the way. But believe me when I say I find having screws flying all over the place kind of looks funny. Okay, so that's for the refined plates done. Now I just need to get the rest of the screws. Okay, so each of these need 140 screws per, and there's 6 of them. 140 per 6 and 840. 840, divide that by 260, and that's just 3. Wait, really? No, I just need 3 of these because I got them here. You know what? I'm gonna believe in the math. Alright, that's mod frames automated. And the game crashed. Yay. Alright, so the modular frames are pretty much done, and now I gotta get into the encased beams, which is gonna need some concrete, which is gonna need approximately 3 refineries, and a tiny bit extra. Got water already up here, so I just gotta plug everything in. Get that all combined together. So now with steel beams and concrete available, I'm gonna have to get some assemblers. There we go. Okay, that's encased beams, I got concrete, I got mod frames, and I just need steel pipes. According to my calculations, I need 135, so divide that by 20 is about 7. Bug. Okay, that should be steel pipes accounted for. Alright, so since I got everything ready, I can get some manufacturers up. Set them all for heavy frames. Alright, there's the first part of the fused frames done, that being the heavy frames. I seriously must ask what's with these extremely arbitrary numbers. 4.219 per minute. Because that's a rate that's understandable. Alright, that's the heavy frames done. Now I gotta get everything together and get fused frames. And I think for the fused frames I'm gonna make another level. How high do I need to be before the radiation stops? About here? Okay. Alright, now I gotta start getting the next level. What the? Wait. What in the world's with the lighting? Oh geez, have I gotten so far up that I'm actually above the clouds now? Yeesh. Well, above the clouds is relative, because if I get low enough then it starts rendering in again. Jeez, this whole thing is getting so tall. Now the lighting's kind of breaking a bit. I wonder if I'll get to like particle accelerator stuff by the time I get like up there. How does the center look? Whoa. That's definitely a sight to behold. Oh. I don't want to fall down there anymore because I'm afraid it's going to crash the game. Okay, well, I got... Sorry, but this is very distracting. Anyways, now all I gotta do is plug up about 7 blenders. Of all of the ridiculous problems that I ended up getting myself into just because I'm in a very small world, one that I did not expect at all was that I would have lighting errors getting too high up. Well, anyways, fused mod frame should be running, but I need aluminum casing. Which there should be some... Just swap that over, then... There we go, aluminum casing heading up. Okay, fuse frames are actually getting made. Wonderful. Now I just need like 50 of them. And then I can get into turbo motors. Well, after some amount of time, I got fuse frames ready. And with that, I've unlocked motors. Alright, so to get to motors, I'm gonna need coolant systems, radios, motors, and rubber. Radio units have already been made way back in episode 11, I believe. So this episode's going to be getting the coolant systems and motors done. I'll definitely find some rubber lying around. So why do I want turbo motors so much? Well, mostly because it allows me to get into this particle accelerator, because it needs some turbo motors. I'm going to need a lot of them, so I gotta get these produced. Alright, so fuse modular frames are up and running. Next up is motors. This one might take the most floor space because it's going to need a bunch of steel pipes and wires. Although I could use some of the steel for rotors, like turning the steel into screws and rods. And then also have some steel for the pipes and then get some copper from downstairs and turn them into wire. Yeah, that can work, that's fine. So according to my calculations, I'm going to need approximately 100 of each. As in 100 motors and 100 stators. Which ends up meaning I'll need like about 20 assemblers for each? Something like that. So these are all for motors, which require 5 per, so that's actually, yeah, that's 20 motors. Or 20 assemblers for the motors, and this is 18 currently. I might just cheat the system a little bit and overclock a couple of these. Also, is the lighting right? Wait. Is the lighting fixed? Oh no, it just got brighter. Alright, so there should be enough assemblers ready for 100 motors a minute? Something like that. So if my math is right, I'm gonna need 200 of both stators and rotors a minute? Oh gosh. And double checking rotor costs. Oh, that's a little annoying. So if I go the steel route, I might not get... Oh, wait. Instead of going for rods, I could go for copper sheets, and I don't have to make as many rotor stuff, but I will have to make some copper sheet stuff. Although I do have some spare copper ore downstairs that I could probably turn into plates. Copper plates. Yeah, I think that would work out. And then as for stators, that one's probably going to have to take the most room. They don't have many other options. There is quick wire, but I don't have... Ah, gosh, is the one downstairs good enough? I don't think so. It also needs the wire anyway, so if I can get the copper ore up here... Okay, I hope there's no crashes, because I gotta go into the center of my base just so I can get to an area really quickly, and there's no power, so I gotta slow it down. Yeah, here it is. It is a ton of smelters that actually aren't in use. Like, there's a chunk of them here in the front. I think, yeah, this one. They're all set for copper ingots anyway, and they're not being used. That's about 240 copper? I don't think that's going to be enough, but that'll definitely help. What's the best way to get copper sheets with what I have available? That's that. So for each constructor is 10 copper sheets, and then I have 20 per, so I can make 12, and I can get 120 copper sheets with this. So I got about 300 copper ingots going up there. Don't think that's going to be enough to make all of the copper sheets that I need. But I do have a line here that could possibly fulfill it. Although at this point I'm just trying to get stuff set up so I can potentially fix things later. Ideally at some point I get like enough copper coming in that I don't have to like cycle it from elsewhere, but I'm so limited on space, I'm so limited on everything else, I kind of have to. That and those copper sheets are more going towards the radio units that are downstairs, but most of the time I don't really have to have the radio units on, I can just have other things ready. There. Okay, that's all the screw storage ready, so... Okay, copper sheets and screws are done. I guess now I gotta get on to motors and stators and get that all automated. Shouldn't take me too long, I think I just gotta do another 3-minute montage or something like that. It'll be over in no time. Then you take a few 1s and you take a few 2s and you end up with something that looks like this. Alright, so what do I got here? A lot of stuff. Everything here is specifically for making turbo motors. But there was also some rubber that was needed, and I wanted to do something with the waste, but I could actually turn the waste into turbo fuel, so now I got turbo fuel getting made. Although I don't have any plans for using turbo fuel as power, but I do have it as packaged turbo fuel. All that does is allow my jetpack to be useful. It is a whoop. Ooh. I can basically just go even higher with it, which is kind of nice. But anyways, what insanity is this? Well, first off, I needed some bonus Caterium, so I got a drone hooked up to somewhere down there. Basically, there's a drone port way off near a Caterium node that transports Caterium directly to the top of my factory. Man, those batteries are coming in useful now. I also ended up having a copper shortage, so I got some more drone ports specifically for copper. The majority of the ore is getting sent to all these smelters below that just needed a bunch of copper to be topped off anyway. But it basically takes all that copper, turns it into ingots, most of which are getting turned into copper sheets, though there's not enough constructors up here for the project I'm working on. So underneath the turbo motor floor, there's another field of constructors constructing sheets. Also, I don't like how the lighting is breaking right here. Devs, I found a bug. I found a bug, guys. Heading down to the smeltery floor, we have my massive coke steel smeltery, which converts my excess of petroleum coke from my plastic refineries into steel. And if my calculations are right, I've used the last of my foundries. Oh, I mean specifically for the steel coke stuff, but the steel is actually used for a few different things. A good chunk of them are going towards making steel beams, of which get converted into a plethora of screws. I think it's like 1,600 screws a minute going along some conveyor belts, which is a lot. But the screws and copper sheets are combined together in assemblers to get rotors, while the remainder steel and Caterium is used to make stators, and we get about 200 rotors and stators a minute. Rotors and stators then get combined in assemblers to make motors. The motors. So I guess now I finally have a motor factory, which is nice. The remaining copper and aluminum sheets get combined together to make heat sinks. Heat sinks are then combined with rubber, nitrogen, and water in order to create, quite honestly, one of the coolest looking parts in the game, the cooling devices. Of which I now have too many of. Well, I'm gonna have less of them, I'm gonna need them for something. The rubber comes from a bunch of refineries that unfortunately have some heavy oil byproducts, of which I could have got rid of in many other ways, but I chose to get rid of them with turbo fuel. And by that, just allowing me to be able to use turbo fuel finally, because whee! And with that, I think I actually have all of the parts needed for turbo fuel. Turbo motors. Cooling system, radio units, motors, and rubber. Radio units are actually from several episodes ago. I'm gonna have some fun and stuff one here. First off, I gotta get the radios, which are up here, actually. I find it kind of funny. I made these, like, a very long time ago, and I was like, man, why did I make so many of these? That's a really good question I asked myself. And, well, now I have it, that investment justified. Now I just gotta get them all the way to the top. I just gotta get that distributed. Gonna be chaotic evil real quick and have conveyors on pipes. All I gotta do is add in the motors. And then all that's left is flip the switch. I just like seeing all of the resources flowing in. And there we go. I got a turbo motor. Sweet. Now I just need to wait till there's like 100 of these. While I'm waiting, I just gotta say I like how this ended up looking, even though it's a bit chaotic. Conveyor belts going all over the place. It does look okay. Although it would be a little bit better if the lighting was fixed. I don't know what's up with the lighting, because like again, I get to like this level and it's back to normal. I reach here, it's gone. I don't get it. Alright, finally, at long last, I can send this off. Alright. Particle enrichment. And what that allows access to is a particle accelerator, of which is not as big as I thought it'd be. Actually, am I able to make this? I need... Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can make it real quick. Alright, so... electro control rod. And fuse mod frames. And turbo motors. Okay. Okay, particle accelerator. Ooh. Pretty interesting structure, and... Okay, so we only got like 2 things that we can actually build with this, that being plutonium pellets to turn all of the nuclear waste that I've been accumulating into the plutonium. Potentially I can get more power out of it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into that. Nuclear pasta, however, is what I'm getting into. That's probably going to be next episode, where I'm going to have to get an absolutely metric ton of copper. And I wish I was joking. But that's just going to be next episode. Nuclear pasta is obviously one of the next things needed for the space elevator phase, so gonna get that done next episode. And I wasn't kidding when I said I needed a lot of copper. I'm gonna need like, okay, 6,000 copper at the very least, but also with plans that I'm thinking on, I might need 10,000. Whatever, I'll worry about that next episode. That's probably gonna take a while. Am I even gonna be able to get this whole series done before the end of the year? I don't know. I don't think I'm actually able to with like what kind of timeline I've got in scheduling. Though I kind of want to get this done before the full release of Satisfactory comes out, just to kind of match the timing. Oh well, whatever happens, happens. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, at least some amount. And you all have a good night.